What's happening, friends? Here we are, a Monday, and coming up this Saturday, this gentleman here, if you don't know who he is, which I think everybody should pretty much know who he is, Chris Jerhico from Fozzy. What's up, brother? How are you?
I am here, man, getting ready for the big rock show in Syracuse on Saturday. Like you said, it's going to be great.
That's right. At I think we could call it legendary Lost. Now it's been there for longer than I've been alive, I believe. So
The Lost Horizon. We found it this Saturday. We found the Lost Horizon.
So how are you doing, man? You're a busy man.
Well, always busy, but everything's been going good, man. This tour has been great for us. It's been probably the biggest U.S. tour we've ever had over the last few weeks. So, yeah, man, anytime we get a chance to go on the road and have the buzz that we have and have the reaction that we've had, it's been a blast. So all systems go, and everything's been killer.
I know the last time I think I saw you might have been Rockstar Energy, maybe Uproar.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. It was maybe last time you were here, I believe it was like, oh man, 2014, maybe somewhere in that range.
10 years ago or so. Yeah. 10 years ago. So yeah, yeah, man, it's crazy when you think about that, how the time has flown. And like I said, we've been on the road a lot. It's just that the Syracuse is one of those cities. I mean, we've played Albany quite a few times, etc. But I'm excited. It's going to be a great show. It's almost sold out, as a matter of fact. So it's always good to go to a town that you haven't been to in a while and have a great reaction. So obviously wrestled in Syracuse quite a few times. Yep. But yeah, it's been a while since Fozzy came through, and it's going to be a long time coming. But we're here at last.
I love it, dude. I will tell you, and Judas, just to see a crowd react when you come out to that song for wrestling, and then to see it live, it's just does it blow your mind? You know what I mean? Even now to this day,
it does. I mean, it's the proverbial hit song, and that's every band hopes they can get one, and it really is our Enter Sandman or our You Shook Me All Night Long. Obviously not as big as those songs, but in our world it's pretty big. And when you I'm looking at the gold record on our wall right now for Judas. I mean, that's a pretty cool dream come true moment, especially in 2023, where it's harder and harder to sell records. So to have a gold record, and the fact that people sing it in arenas every week on AEW, I don't even have to sing it at all when we play live. I can just let the crowd sing the whole song. So for whatever reason, like right out of the gate, that tune had a huge reaction. I remember when we did the video for it. I remember one of the girls in the video said, "How many views do you hope it gets?" And I was like, "Well, I hope it gets 3 million. If it gets 3 million views, for some reason, that's what I was hoping for." And it literally had like 3 million at the end of a month. Yeah. So right away, and now we're at 63 million. So it just really caught on out of the gate. It was our highest charting song. And if it's, you spend the rest of your career trying to do another song as popular as your hit song. If you get another one, you're lucky. If you don't, if Judas is the by far biggest tune we ever have, it's a great one, and it's took things to the next level for us. So all across the board, it's amazing.
I put songs like that in the PR songs in the gym. You know what I mean? You could put that on, and you can hit a PR in the gym to that song. You know what I mean? And I know there's a bunch of bands, and at least in my head, that I'll put on, and I know that if I'm going after something big lift in the gym, then we're going after it, and this is what I'm playing. You know what I mean? Just got a good drive and rock beat, baby.
Yeah, it's funny because they play it in hockey arenas now, football stadiums. They play it a lot in England at the soccer games there. Little kids, I get videos every day on Twitter and on Instagram of little kids dancing to it and singing it, and it's just one of those tunes, like you said, man. Just the beat of it, the riff. The triple chorus that we have, 3 hooks included. Like I said, man, I mean, you can analyze it all day long. Yep. Bottom line is, it just really worked.
A good tune.
It's been huge for us.
I love it. How do you make it? Like Saturday you're here, Wednesday you have I think you're taking on Keith Lee there. How do you manage the time, brother?
Well, you just answered your own question. You manage the time. you know, and when I was, everyone knows my story. I wanted to be in a rock band. I wanted to be a wrestler when I was a kid. And now that I'm getting a chance to do that at the highest of levels, you just make it work. One of the great things about AEW is, for the most part, we only work on Wednesdays. So if you look at our tour schedule, we usually do 5 shows a week and take Tuesday, Wednesday off. Most of those Wednesdays I'll go to AEW. Sometimes I take the Wednesday off and stay at home an extra day, but it's really easy to make it work when you have a great organization, you know, a great plan. We put a good plan together and make sure that the strategy is right. I mean, the cool thing about Fozzy too is we pretty much are our own self-contained entity as well. We've worked it to where we don't have to open for anybody. We basically call our own shots and do our own schedule. And like I mentioned, the fact that this tour is our biggest tour that we've had so far, it shows that it's working. So when you kind of have that, it really makes things a lot different. Now, obviously, if Metallica called and asked us to open up for them, we'd have to reconfigure the schedule. But as far as it goes right now, we've got a pretty good financial model and a pretty good scheduling model that works for us great.
How many, obviously you do mention Metallica. I mean, is there anybody else out there that you drop a dime and be like, all right, we're out, we're going on this tour with them? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you know, it's funny because if you're going to tour with bands like that, obviously, if you know, if you got a call to do a stadium tour, then obviously you could probably, you know, get the money that you would need to make it work. You know, a lot of times though, when a band asks you to open for them, if they're a big band, you know, it's $500 and just the exposure, and that's great for a new band. But for us, we don't have to have that. So we've been lucky that we've toured with Metallica in Australia, which was great. We did a huge stadium show with Iron Maiden in LA. We were on the Kiss cruise, so we've had some pretty good moments as far as that goes. You know, so it just depends. I mean, we did a short tour with Nickelback a few years ago, which was amazing. I mean, some people bag on Nickelback.
Oh my God, I don't even know why they bag on them if they ever see them live.
They were a great rock and roll band. It was a great package with Fozzy and Nickelback. I would do that tour any day of the week. They're awesome crowds. So, you know, it just depends on the situation. But until those situations arise, we've got a great way of doing things that's growing. Like I said, the tour in the States has been huge. Our last tour in the UK was our biggest headlining tour we've ever done. We just finished our biggest headlining tour in Australia. So you build up your name the best way you can. And then if other, you know, if the gods of rock, you know, AC/DC calls, then you're ready. If not, then we still have a great fan base that's growing on a monthly basis, yearly basis, and that's the best thing you can do.
What do you got planned on through the summer and into the fall, man?
So we finish up this tour. Next week is the last leg of this one. Then we're doing a co-headlining with Ugly Kid Joe.
Ooh,
should be pretty cool. They haven't toured the States in like 30 years, so we thought that'd be something interesting. And then we're kind of looking at other things. We might go to the UK again. We got some other international ideas. Working on a new song. I think we're going to start doing single releases now rather than work on a full album, which takes 2 years, and then half the songs you never get to hear. So I think we're going to start doing a single, release a song every 4 or 5 months and kind of work on that business model. So a lot of cool things going on for us for sure.
Dude, that seems to be the way the entire music industry. I know, like Jelly Roll would put out, he would drop videos on YouTube, you know what I mean, out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That seems to be the way that the industry is kind of going, you know what I mean?
Well, I just think, you know, I mean, obviously we are children of the album, so to speak.
Right.
It was an event. I mean, there's still certain bands like, you know, we mentioned Metallica a few times. There's 72 seasons. Everyone's talking about it. Metallica gets that. Iron Maiden gets that. AC/DC gets that. But most bands don't have that same vibe for an album anymore. And what I noticed is for Boombox, we spent such a long time on it. And then the pandemic kind of delayed it. So we really were wanting this album to be released properly. And it was a huge hit for us, right? 3 top 10 singles, 3 more bangers that we play live. But there's 6 great songs that weren't released as singles and they don't get played live, at least not currently. And it's almost like they just end up in the Fozzy dead song graveyard. And that seems like a shame to me because there was no filler on this record, you know, in my opinion. So rather than have 12 songs that, you know, some of them are just kind of destined for the Where They Now file, why not just do, you know, instead of 12 songs every 2 years, why not 1 song every 4 months where every one of the songs gets a chance to grow and be a hit on radio? Because rock radio is so important, as I always say, and be a great live song. So I think that's the way we want to do it, because a full album as a concept seems to be more and more obsolete every day, just by the way that people consume music, right?
Yeah.
They're listening to the radio, they're listening to Spotify. You put a song on and you go to the next one by this band and that band and this band, playlists, et cetera, et cetera. So I just think it's a model I want to explore. The other guys in the band feel the same way. And I think it's a smart way of doing things in 2023 to make sure that every song gets the maximum value, shall we say, that you can get out of it.
When you talk about playlists there, buddy, what's on your playlist there, brother?
Well, I go to like Spotify and it says daily playlist, right?
Yep.
They basically what they do is they take an amalgamation of all the different stuff you've been listening to, right? So I'll click on right now. It's like it's kind of more of a Bowie theme thing. I'm going through a big Bowie phase. Okay. So you got that. The other daily mix is more of your like, Panama, Tush, Night Train, Shoot to Thrill, that sort of thing. So it all depends. I've been listening to obviously the new Metallica tunes are great. The new Avenged Sevenfold record is amazing. I've been listening a lot to that. I got an advanced copy of that. So those are kind of some of the tunes that I've been checking out.
It's so funny. Like, my kids make fun of me now because they're like, "Dad, what are you listening to?" And I'm like, Foreigner. I mean, classic rock. I'll run into that, and I'll run into, like a Jelly Roll and some things like that. And I don't know. I'm like, this is what I like, man. Why you guys got to make fun of me for it? You know what I mean? It's
right.
Kids are weird these days. Damn it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. We're getting back to the place it was kind of in the early 80s when you can have a wide musical palette, and I like that. I mean, I think that's the way it should be. You should, if you want to listen to a Jelly Roll or some Harry Styles or some Amon Amarth, like, why not? Right. Who cares? I remember when I was in junior high school, it was like you had to be metal. And if you didn't listen to heavy metal, you were a poser. I hate Duran Duran. I hate Bryan Adams. And meanwhile, I've got tickets to Duran Duran and Bryan Adams this summer, as well as my Metallica and Pantera tickets. Like it should be that way, right?
Yeah. It's so funny because I tell my kids, taking it back to when we had to cover our books in grocery bag covers back in the day, right? And you would draw the Pentagon, and then you'd have Metallica or Guns N' Roses or some sort of, logos and stuff and the jean jackets. And they're like, "Dad, we don't have to do that stuff anymore." I'm like, I get it. But, this was my life, man.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Well, brother, I appreciate the time today. Of course, we'll see you on Saturday here in the Cuse at the Lost Horizon. Always going to be a good time with Fozzy in the house, man.
Yeah, man, we're excited. It's a rock and roll party. Anybody that's seen us before knows that. Anybody that hasn't, we really have a fun vibe, and we make sure that everyone has a great time, because that's what rock and roll is all about. So, like I said, the show is going to be packed. It's going to be fun. It's been a long time since we've been in the Cuse.
Yes.
And, dude, I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be, like I said, a rock and roll party for sure.
All right, brother. I appreciate it today, man. And we'll see you on Saturday.
All right, dude. Sounds good. Appreciate it.